Write it down 1,000 times for a little word that makes me cry. How I feel about it, I can't decide. No, I don't know, so I'll improvise. Is it living in our heart or in our mind? I don't know. So world ready or not, here I go, searching for the answer. And I'm not gonna stop till I find where it lives inside me. How does it come to be? What should it mean to me? Teach me the definition of true love. Teach me the definition of true love. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the third segment of our show, Eyes on Earth. My name is Faye, and I am here with Adamus Saint-Germain. And this is an interview that is following a channeling that just occurred. So I would like to recommend to you that if you have not listened to the channeling, to go back to that segment first, so that this information that is about to be given will be of more value to you. And welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
I know
it's a
this.
rather monumental day, the information
Yes.
that you have put forth.
Yes.
I'm sure that there are many questions that the people that have listened to this channeling will have.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that we will cover most of those that might be there to maybe put some more comfort in the hearts of those that have listened to this. One question that I had was how the difference between that the Earth is now the center
Mm-hmm.
of the cosmos.
Mhm.
If you could expand on that.
Gladly. And I know that this is a very strange thought to keep in a human mind, that the Earth is the center of all things, but people have been getting used to the simple concept for quite some time now, that the Akene themselves is the heart of all things. So this is basically expanding on that and moving from the idea of simply your own body being your body to the Earth being your body. For the longest time, the universe has been a wonderful, and the cosmos has been a wonderful clockwork of motion, and this has caused a great deal of emotion. All right? Today, the Earth is entering into another period of stillness, and it does so every couple of hundreds of thousands of years. Okay? And this stillness simply means that where before there was motion going on throughout the whole galaxy and the whole cosmos, and the Earth being part of that motion, that the motion that is occurring in the cosmos is now relative to Earth. It is basically why the name of your show, Eyes on Earth, is such a clever name. Katumi's name, of course, who came up with that. And why? Simply put, all of the energy that is being created by the motion in the cosmos is now going to Earth, you see? Whereas before, Earth was a contributor to cosmic motion. Earth is still in motion. If not, everybody would fly off Earth, obviously. But the motion that Earth is having, even in this very moment, is now relative to everything else. So look at this as a beautiful geometry, as it were, where one particle that was part of the motion of that geometry has now taken center position, and everything else is shifting to accommodate that. Does that make sense?
Yes, and one question that comes to my mind is, within the illusion of the physicality,
Yes.
is this making any changes in that respect?
Yes. Well, for quite some days now, many people watching this show, and I know for a fact that the channel that I'm sitting in right now had the same problem. There was a fatigue that came over many people. This is because of the shift in energy that was taking place. Although it is paradoxical, what has happened right now is that much more energy is available to Earth for the shift that is actually occurring. This means that much more energy is now also going to be available for everybody experiencing this great shift. Incidentally, this led to the feeling of fatigue because the energy systems of everybody were being rewired. All right? Another way of looking at it is that every particle in your body is now responding not only to your body, but is also responding to everything else out there in the galaxy and being added to by anything out there in the galaxy. The physicality of Earth has always been a very tricky idea because, very simply, physicality is an illusion. The idea of the hologram that we have discussed so often before, no longer being a hologram, but there is no new word for this yet, so I cannot give it to you. But what has actually happened is that within every particle now truly lives the entire hologram, and in a more real way than ever before, giving every particle, including the human body, a whole lot more energy than was the case before, leading actually into the fact that there is no more linear time. Although humans will continue to create linear time for quite a while, there is no more linear time, and there is truly no beginning to you and to everybody else. There's truly no beginning. The mind and the memories within you will still have the idea of a beginning, but that beginning is no longer there. From my perspective, it is a tremendous shift that just occurred, but it will take up to a couple of years for people to actually begin to truly see and work with this, which is the reason why I gave the exercise in the first place.
Which is a question that comes up. Will this have a different effect on those that are not awake at all versus those that are just beginning to awaken, as well as those that have been staying on par with the information that's been coming out over the last months?
Indeed, it will make a difference. Although everybody will be experiencing this in the end, it is so that those who have already been working, that those who have already been preparing for this great shift to take place, will move into cosmic time quicker than anyone else. This includes some animals. I know that in the break you were talking about animals. Animals have been much more aware of everything occurring, even more so than most of the most awakened humans. So the effect will definitely be there for them, but it will also be there for those who have not awakened yet, although they will, let's call it, they will remain on a sinking ship a little bit longer than anyone else as they transfer their consciousness from power-based to passion-based, truly.
And what recommendation would you have for those that want to start working with the shift and moving into it? What recommendations would you have to take advantage of that fully?
Okay, well, there's two major ones that I would speak of. First of all, I would start thinking in terms of existence and beingness rather than life and death. So much of a human's time on Earth is spent thinking about life and death, even though many people are not aware of this, and even though many people may think that all they're focused on is life, and those who are depressed or have just suffered a loss will think about concepts such as death. But from my point of view, in the human brain, as I'm observing it right now, I see how often the card of death versus life is being played out. There is so much fear going on a subconscious level, which can be very easily removed right now by starting to think in concepts as existence and beingness. Existence basically replacing the concept of death, and beingness replacing the concept of life, meaning that humanity will begin to have a choice to be either in a state of beingness where one is expressed in the field of experience, or existence where one is, let's say, out there. Now, the other part of that I wanted to add is that this will become much more clear in the coming years. I have said before, through Cauldre or through Yeshua or through many others, that the Earth is now going through this 4-year shift, which is going to be quite monumental, actually, if you think about it. And within that shift, it will take the human body quite some time to start adapting to these new ways of being. All right? The exercise that I gave, for instance, it will take an average person who practices this on a daily basis and nearly 24 hours a day, even within sleep, about 4 years to actually complete the process of the cellular shift that is taking place. So, as always, my advice would be breathing, of course, and focusing on these new concepts, no longer thinking in terms of fear and love, but simply thinking in terms of love, which will assist the ideas of beingness and existence, and then to continue doing the exercise that I have just given, so that this shift can take place. Truly what we're talking about here is ascension. Ascension, very simply put. What we are talking about is transforming your body from a body of physical matter into a body of light, where only a very small percentage, 144 cells being there, 144, how shall I say, DNA strands being there, and only 2 being biological. The same thing is going to happen, the same equation is going to happen within the human body. So this is truly an ascension we're talking about.
Could you go into a little bit more depth?
Always.
as we're talking about this exercise that was given and practicing this
Yes.
diligently
Yes.
to assist in this transformation, how does that work with the cellular structure, the particles, the DNA? If you could go into how that all works together.
Indeed. Well, I could go into that for a very lengthy amount of time. However, I will say this. Just the other day, I discussed with Yeshua and you and some of the others here that I would start a series called the Alchemy series, all right? And it is in this series that I intend to do, which will have 44 parts to it as a beginning and another 100 parts after that, which will actually allow you and anyone else who wants to do it to make this grand shift happen. The whole true concept of alchemy, in the end, is nothing else than moving matter into light. And light, of course, is love. So what that series will be about is assisting humanity not just to transform their body, but also transform the complete environment that they're in, because that will, in the end, be necessary. That is what we will be creating. So rather than doing it right now, I would suggest doing it during that series if you want to stay on time.
Okay. And another question that I have,
Yes.
that I'm sure a lot of you out there probably have as well, and that is the coming times, the changes that we're all going to experience.
Mm-hmm.
And both a little bit more information about what that might be like,
Mm-hmm.
as well as any advice that you would have for everyone that would make it a little easier living through that.
Go with the flow. Very simply, go with the flow. Live each day to the fullest. Enjoy yourself to the max. Because this is truly a process to be enjoyed. The world will crumble. And I'm not trying to be a very negative prophet here. I'm just saying that the power centers of the world will crumble. If, however, there is a time to prepare by finally making the choices that we have been talking about for such a long time already, it is in the coming months. Because by preparing yourself, by stepping into your passion, finally, you will notice that you will be supported. I have said before, there is no need to fear, there is no need to be afraid or to leave the planet. It is an enjoyable process that should be looked forward to rather than feared. And I know that there are many out there right now who do feel uneasy about these changes, but nothing tragical will happen. There might be a few earthquakes, there might be the collapse of power, yes, governments that will fall, but these are things to be enjoyed. These are wonderful, wonderful times indeed. I cannot stress that enough. I cannot give you the formula for what is going to happen, because who would know? Who would know? It is humanity creating that, truly. So I cannot give you a day-to-day paradigm shift weather forecast, as it were, but I can tell you this: if you are one out there who has not yet stepped into your passion, if you are one who has feared actually making these choices, find ways of making them happen now. You will be supported. Do not stay stuck in the places that you no longer want to stay stuck in. Just make these choices and everything will flow elegantly. Elegantly. Believe me, we have been working for a very long time to make sure that there is enough energy present that anyone can flow elegantly into this, truly.
Another question that this brings up for me is, for those that are in environments, which I know I was for some time, being more aware of some of these ideas where those around me were resistant.
Indeed.
Any advice with this new information as to how to deal with that?
Well, this is exactly one of the reasons why I brought in the message, I discussed the message that I discussed today, because that, my dear, and all the dears out there, is simply no longer going to work. You can try to keep on the fence, you can try to postpone moving into your own space, but that it's no longer going to work. You will see that it will become quite impossible. I talked in my message just now, I talked about friction that is going to happen. This friction is the friction between cosmic space, or cosmic time rather, and linear time. That friction is actually going to catapult you, to bump you away from all of those spaces and all of those situations that you no longer belong in. And I know this is difficult for many to understand, because quite frankly, as I have been observing humans, they've all been building lives for themselves with futures attached to that, and those futures might not work out, but what is replacing it will be much greater. So again, and this is probably the thread throughout this interview, again, it is time to make that choice. It is time not to stay stuck in the old paradigm, and rather temporarily say goodbye and move into your own space, move into your own passion, rather than staying stuck and creating more friction for yourself and for those that you love who have chosen a longer path, not a different path, because in the end it will all lead back to the same path. But that is what I would suggest.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, for those out there, if they're in a situation that seems to be difficult
Yes.
In the coming days, that might be a good time to reflect on
Making
what
choices.
changes they might make,
Yes.
and moving into this more fully.
And believe me, dearest Faye, everybody knows what changes they need to make. Everybody knows. They're just afraid of making them. And we are here to support. You guys are here to support. There's many out there that is being supportive right now. So just make the changes. Just step into the Passion Center.
Can we talk about, with all of this
Yes.
that has changed,
Mm-hmm.
how does fear fit into this now? We're on the subject of this, which fear is a big part of those changes not being made. Is that going to have a different face, or is it still going to feel the same? Is that going to be escalated, accentuated more than in the past?
Well, first of all, fear never existed, and it doesn't exist today. It is but an illusion. It is a thought, a belief system. It is the blocking of energy in motion that is creating the fear, and the energy that is in motion is the love, obviously. So, will there be an increase of fear? Yes, to those who want to hold on to their power centers. But to those who actually move into the passion, the fear is actually an unease. An unease because of the simple physical reality that an object that has been stale for quite some time takes some friction to get into motion. So if you are one, and I know you teach this yourself, if you are one who is in unease, step through it. That's exactly the place where you need to look. What are you uneasy about, and what are you afraid to accomplish? Look at that. Let fear be a trigger. Let fear actually be your driving force, not as something to hold on to, but as a space to move through to.
And it seems that the word passion keeps
yes.
coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So it would probably be good to go a little deeper into that for those out there that may not fully understand
Yes.
all that that entails.
Yes. Well, what is passion to you?
A fullness of heart. It's living. It's being alive.
Yes. And what is passion to you? Very simply put, what you are feeling right now as I ask you that question, that is passion. Passion is something which has no limits, which cannot be defined. Now, in the coming years, it will be very important for people to start undefining themselves. And there are exercises, there is information that will be presented which will allow people to undefine themselves so that passion can once again flow through their lives. I need to drink here.
Sure.
And as they do, as they allow themselves to be undefined once more, and this goes into the most little details of their lives, which doesn't mean that they need to become unmoving, because sometimes people think that definition has to do with what you do rather than with what you are. And as you move into undefinition, letting go of what you think you are will actually allow passion to move into your life. And this is one of the main reasons why I have been so instrumental as of late in starting these mystery schools, which Pioneer College obviously is going to be one of. You see?
Well, you've mentioned Pioneer College.
Did I?
So
How incidental. Yes.
So now might be a good time, if you would be appreciated, to go a little deeper into Pioneer College from your perspective,
Oh,
and where you see that leading us.
You've caught me completely off guard. Well, this is supposed to be a very practical training center for people who are ready to move into, well, cosmic time, to move into their cosmic existence. You know, one of the people that I value greatly is the author Barbara Hand Clough. I actually informed Yeshua that it would be a good idea to start reading one of her books called The Mayan Code, and I can tell everybody out there that this is a very interesting book to read. In that book, very early on, one of the things that is mentioned is that once we move into this creation that we are now right in the middle of, and that will lead up to basically the end of 2012, which is not a date but an energy stamp, an energy signature. Once people move into that, we will just be in a state of constant celebration with everything around us. Total abundance from a passionate heart level. Truly a state of constant ecstasy, if you will. Pioneers College is, if I understand the ones I'm working with correctly right now, is meant to allow people to move into that. Those who are ready to move into that will be given the tools to do that. That is what this whole school is about. And I'm very excited about this as well, because after all of these years of being a teacher, I can once again become a scholar, which has always been one of my passions. As you know, as this information is brought back to Earth, and when I say brought back, I do mean that it was not available at the time of my own ascension. It's been away from Earth for a very, very long time, and to see this come back is amazing indeed. We live in amazing times, even those like me who do not share bodies like you do.
So, with Pioneer College,
Yes.
being thought of as a school, a place of learning, and I'm going to add a place of growing.
Yes.
Is this the only way for one to learn what is going to be necessary to move fully into the changing times?
It's a very tricky question. Not that you want it to be tricky, I know that. But of course it is not the only way. In the end, all of this will move into the cellular cosmic memory of everything, every particle of matter and energy in the end. This school, however, and schools that are started like this one, is meant more for those who want to be the messengers, who want to be the teachers and the stewards of pioneering consciousness. And incidentally, those who listen to my words, or Kutumi's words, or anyone else's words on a regular basis, when they answer that question for themselves, will of course already know that they are the messengers. So this is meant for that group. After 2012, as this field of expression starts expressing in a very different way, there will be a short period of time of another couple of years, if you can call them that, where those who have been resisting these changes, even up until that point, will feel the awakening process. And especially then, these teachers will be more than necessary. So let's just call this a 4-year study, a 4-year college, after which those that have been trained will move out into the world even further to be transformative. I cannot tell you how excited I am about all of this. It's indeed an amazing time. I keep saying it, but it is indeed amazing.
I'm excited too.
I know you are.
Looking forward to it. And one question that I have, on a
Yes.
more personal note, is you as a student,
Yes.
being with us as students,
Yes.
and how that may be the same,
Mhm.
and if there will be any differences, as you will be starting this not in body, so
Yes.
how that will be.
Interesting question. Well, the first difference I can think of is that I still have the perspective that I have in this moment when I'm sitting here with you. So I will act, and others like me will act as a go-between, where we will be a bridge to allow those in body to move up quicker. You have to know, Faye, we have been, myself, Katumi, many others, Ikara, for instance, Tobias, Yeshua, and so many others, have been, after our ascension, in a type of green room, a waiting room. And we have remained there so that we stayed anchored to this reality. So, as we will learn, so this will flow into all of you, and it will allow for easier comprehension, rather than if everything needed to be learned from the perspective of Earth. So that is going to be a difference for a while, but as your bodies will become more attuned to light, the balance will settle, and we will indeed be quite similar to one another. About, if I'm not mistaken in my calculations, about 3.5 years from now, where you will experience what we have experienced for all this time.
Interesting.
Yes, very.
Another part that was covered in the channeling
Yes.
was the concept that we are angels.
We are.
And I know that in a number of the channelings before, you know, you would come and remind us that we are angelic, and trying to get our vision of ourselves elevated a bit.
Yes.
But this time in this channeling, it seemed to have a little bit of a different twist to me. I was wondering, from the perspective of where you were speaking in the channeling today, if you could
Yes.
expand on that just a bit.
It has to do with this great shift into cosmic time. Truly, the only difference between the definition of a human and the definition of an angel is that one believes and experiences a separation and the other one does not. Those who allow this to happen right now will experience no more separation. I know that in the course of the last few months, many scientists even have been speaking about the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. There's this film that keeps surfing the internet, and many people, many thousands and hundreds of thousands of people have seen it, with this Dr. Taylor, who speaks about her
Yes.
attack, her brain attack, basically, her aneurysm. Now, what she speaks about, this center of the brain, this right side of the brain being connected to everything, that is angelic. Because once you are there can truly be no more death. There can be no more death. Death is gone at that point. Because what else is death than the total illusion of separation running its full course? The last separation that the illusion of separation can put upon a human is the human being separated from Earth through death. So when that goes, the angelic quality of all moves back in. Not to say that humanity has not been angelic up to this point. All I mean is that as this illusion of separation moves away from all of us, and it has been there for me as well, every time I was here, I have talked about this before, what it means to be angelic will come to the fore more often. Ego, the mental, will move away. Passion will become something which is quite similar for everyone else. I know that in the last few years, so many of you have been asking, what is my passion? What is my passion? And then they thought, oh, my passion is being a teacher, or my passion is being a painter, or my passion is working with clay, or writing a book. Nonsense. Our passion is oneness. Our passion is love. Our passion is evolution. Our passion is unity. And once these things are applied to all these things that people call their passion in the past, that is when the angelic comes about. These flowers, right now in this moment, are angelic, because their passion of beauty is being transmitted right now to all of those who are watching this. And even those who are listening to this are picking up the vibration of these flowers right now, these beautiful red roses, you see. So to be a flower is actually to be angelic, if you dare to apply what it means to be a flower in your life.
So if I'm understanding correctly, authenticity, tapping into your authenticity is vitally important at this time.
Oh yes, yes. And if you move into any area of creativity also connected to that authenticity, please stop applying previous paradigms to it. When you create something, whether it be a painting or a book, humanity is so used to calling something art based on what has come before. And based on what has come before, a Picasso or a Rembrandt or anyone else that used to be a grand painter, for instance, these are the definitions that are then put upon a new artist, and it is no longer necessary. But when you see the earth as your palette, when you see the earth as your brush, and when you see the earth as your empty page on which to work, that's when you truly start to become angelic, because that is truly what angelic life does.
And I have a question in regards to all of this and how Gaia is experiencing this.
She is having a ball.
I'm sure. Could you discuss
Yes.
and maybe give us a little connection to
Okay.
what's going on there?
Okay. I'm going to talk from your personal experience, since I happen to know you pretty well. We do party a lot. You recently have started to become aware that your own daughter is growing up, okay? And this has caused you to feel certain emotions and gratitude, I will even say, to this life that is now blooming, open. And at the same time, it has caused you some distress, because you are redefining your role as a mother. Humanity has always looked upon Earth as Mother Earth. Earth is basically looking toward humanity as the new stewards of this planet. She no longer needs to take care of everything, basically. She is now moving into a state of sovereignty, greater freedom, although she's always been sovereign and free, of course, but she is beginning to understand, Gaia, that these humans, her children, are growing up and are about to balance out to a great extent, now creating the responsibility for taking over this creation. That's what's happening. So Gaia is not really moving out of the picture, but she is becoming an adult as her children are becoming adults. And so this is what often happens, because parents are usually not adults when their children are not adults yet. They're both children.
Yes.
So there's a friendship that is blooming, which is what every parent would hope for when their children grow up. So you see, there's a little bit of sadness on Earth through Gaia, because she is not one, like any mother. She doesn't like to let go, but she knows it is good. She knows it is perfect, and she's actually enjoying the idea, although she would never say, I know she's right here, but she would never say it herself, but I think she's looking forward to the time that is about to free up, and her taking some extra lovers on and stuff like that.
Oh, Gaia. There did seem to be an air.
I'm going to have to pay for that one.
Have a drink of water.
Yes.
There did seem to be an air a feeling,
Yes.
at least from my perspective,
Mm-hmm.
the channeling.
Yes.
And that was of, I felt the, of a monumental type of air.
It was.
Can you put it in perspective for those listening? How that is this day,
Yes.
this change, as to some of those in the past that were supposedly
Mm-hmm.
big events as well.
Yes. Look, everything that all of you have been working towards, everything, the expansion of consciousness, moving into new energy, which up until now have been theoretical, today, for the very first time, are practical. You do not understand this yet maybe, but right now they are practically available. In the most practical of way. I know I'm using the word practical a lot, but it's all about
It's very practical.
It's practicality. Practicality is the thing. That's all it is. So now that this is happening, how shall I say, you are going to find out how easier it will be to apply all of the things that have been spoken about before. And so I would actually recommend for everybody out there to revisit some of the older work, not just the older work that is available in Pioneer College, but in Crimson Circle, anywhere, Lightworker, even the Cryon material. I would revisit these now and look at how easy it will be to actually apply some of these things which seemed to be very difficult. And I'll even say this is one of the main things of why we are starting these new mystery schools, including Pioneer College, to simply move from theory into practice. And for some out there, that's going to be pretty scary, as all of a sudden these things are going to work. Because I know that's been one of the biggest frustrations for many out there. Oh, Adamus, oh, Kadumi, it doesn't work. How do I make it work? Well, you're going to see it work. And that is magic.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Well, I could go on for hours.
Oh, yes.
This is all very fascinating.
And we will.
But I do have some questions that have come in from the people that have been connected to us.
Yes.
Which they would like to have answered by you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll begin with the first one,
Okay.
which comes in from Marty. And it is,
Marty from Mars.
well, I'm not sure where Marty's from. But from what you're saying, Earth is a pretty good place to be right now.
That's true. That's true.
I have just recently found your site and the wonderful messages there. Thank you, Marty. I have been a part of Shambhala for many years. I have followed and done everything that the guides have laid out for us to do over the years, and I have done all the exercises that Akara and Solaris and the others have asked us to do. Now my question is, since last November, my flow of money has totally dried up. I can't seem to get it flowing again. No matter what I do, it doesn't work. I know several others who are experiencing the same thing. Can you tell us what is happening now? Or is it something we are not doing or are doing and shouldn't be doing? I am very baffled as to why I just can't seem to create any money. I know we are trying to get out of duality, but in the meantime, we still have to eat and pay for shelter and clothes, etc. Please share your wisdom here.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to Marty. Well, Marty and many others who probably are sitting right there with the same question, there are a couple of things I can tell you. First of all, you were one of the early ones. Your old sources dried up because the old methods are no longer working. You were ready before anyone else, and actually this is to be seen as a cause for celebration rather than a cause for panic, all right? I know many of you have the same problem, but I ask you this: have you been without a home? Have you been without food? Have you been without anything else? No. And even if one of these questions would cause for a yes, it wasn't that bad. We are in the midst of enormous changes. Enormous, as of course this whole today's show has been about. And that sometimes does create a little bit of lack, or at least the illusion of lack, as your energy system is now moving into something else. Now money, as you know, has been the illusion of reflection upon reflection upon reflection upon reflection. So logically, for those who move into something else, money is going to be one of the first things to go. Money was based on power, it wasn't based on passion. But I have good news for you, Marty, and all the other ones out there. Things are starting to change. You are going to start to notice how it is going to become much easier for you to create these things. So rather than answering this question from an old energy paradigm, I'm going to ask you to be a little bit patient and to step into your action right now at the same time. And that is very interesting, because the patience will require sovereignty and the action will require passion. If you can do both of these things at the same time, you will see how much begins to shift. Now, money is not going to be around for much longer anyway, so find ways of reaching out to the community which is around you. Many will need you in a very short while. And if right now you can use mundane things to reach out to them, things of earth, that is going to help you actually to start putting the message of everything that is about to happen out there. Let me give you an example. There is a group in Belgium who has been working with Yeshua and Ambika and some of the others before the shift into Pioneer College, who have now come together again and have created a new paradigm home called, if I'm not mistaken, the Four Seasons. What they are doing is actually creating organic vegetables for the community that lives around them. And many people are looking for this type of authenticity right now. It is of earth, you see. And as such, every time these people come by to buy their fruit and to buy their vegetables and everything else, they are also given the great gift of a smile, a new earth smile, and a little chit-chat, which actually carries on this vibration of everything that we've been talking about today. Doesn't mean that you have to go out to be the messenger right now and stand on every corner and shout, "The sky is falling," you know, because it isn't. It's actually lifting up all the way to heaven. But if you can find things that are of earth, very close to earth, you're going to see that in this short little while that you'll still need that money flow, that is going to become much easier.
And in the channeling,
yes,
you use the analogy of renovating.
Yes.
And I know I've gone through a kitchen overhaul. So as you were speaking, I was thinking it's kind of like throwing the old kitchen sink out, but for a while you don't have a sink
Yes.
to wash the dishes in, but shortly there will be a new one taking its place.
Very
so
true.
See it as temporary.
Yes, yes, very true.
Okay, second question. Dear Adamus,
That's me.
for a couple of years now, I have been getting insights as to how to clean the earth by uncreating the vast amount of trash generated by humankind. I just listened to one of the channels. It was said that we can manipulate a thing, the spoon was the example, out of existence. But to do so would be not to love the spoon, which is us, me. How can we then get rid of all the trash waste that is bogging the planet down if we cannot remove it from the physical? I see that allowing the energy to go back into the neutral status might eliminate the physical object. Can you clarify this or give some insights as to how this can be done in integrity and honor with all things? This is sincerely Marty, from Marty also.
Well, Marty, you've been a very busy person.
It may be a different Marty.
All Martys are one.
Yes.
Well, okay, let me put it this way. When Solaris, because I believe this was Solaris talking about the spoon, and by the way, she will speak again in Pioneers College also, and will continue her classes, but when the time is right. But when Solaris was speaking about these things, you have to understand that it is not about not loving the spoon. It is about loving the energy of the spoon. So if you want to uncreate the energy of trash on Earth, which is but matter as being reflected through energy vibration, you can start putting love into the trash. Don't throw love in trash, but start putting the energy of love in trash, and even in radioactive trash and everything like that, which will not start to magically dissolve in front of your eyes, but as you start loving it, you see it's very interesting. The energy of fear, and when you have fear around something, it actually creates more of the thing you fear. With the energy of love, when you put love into something, it balances that which you are loving, it balances it out. So when you step into the love for trash, you are actually going to move that love into the energetic vibrations of trash, which is then going to change the whole paradigm around trash. So the trash may not disappear magically, but what will happen is that by loving the energetic vibrations of trash, more ecological solutions will come into the earth, which will, in effect, start having an effect on the thing called trash. And this actually works for everything. This actually works for everything. Now, of course, in a couple of years, this question would be answered in a different way, but I am answering it from this perspective.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Marty, have a good time.
Yes, thank you, Marty. Dear Adamus.
That's me again.
May I request the answer to my question?
Of course.
Which star system am I from? I thought it was Pleiadian, but now I am wondering if it's Arcturian. I am here to help people ascend and have a loving relationship with a man. Any thoughts on this? I channeled Ascended Masters called Fraudham and wrote my book. Do you know Fraudham? And this is from Maya.
Well, first of all, dear Maya, unfortunately, I'm not available. I know that Ambika is out there. She's looking, but she's not a man. So
I think they just called 911.
But maybe you can convince Ambika to actually have a change of sex. That would solve the problem for both parties. No, but seriously, this whole thing about what star system am I from, I know this question was asked before I gave my message of today, so I'll be kind and gentle. But how about humanity stop focusing on out there and start focusing on
Very
in here?
good point.
What star system are you from? Earth. What star system are you from? The heart. Love. In the end, all of these star systems out there are but illusion. It is all but a playing field. You and anyone listening, and even the guy working at the bank, has incarnated in every damn star system on every damn universe, quite literally. So you are from everywhere, and Maya, I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm just trying to tell you to change your perspective. Earth is the thing right now, and if you're going to start focusing on that, you're going to notice actually how you're going to open up to all of these galactic memories, basically. And then you will no longer need the Ashtar galactic command to beam you up and project you out into space, really. Because then all you'll need is love.
And I think that's one of the one of the bigger obstacles that we
Yes.
have as human beings is the habit of looking out there
Yes.
for the solutions, the answer, everything is,
Even at
and changing that to where we actually start looking
Yes.
for everything from within.
Yes. Well, let me tell you something. You have no idea how many people pray to me. I know that, you know, Yeshua is the thing
You
to pray.
found me out.
The same thing goes for Yeshua, the same thing goes for Tobias, for all of them. You guys pray. Now, if I'm going back to the original teachings of Yeshua and Buddha and many, many others, then there's two things to say here. First of all, when they talked about sin, what sin truly means is just basically missing the mark of life. If you go back to the ancient scriptures, and God knows I have, then you will see that in the very ancient texts, this is what to sin truly means, to miss the mark of life. Now, what is life all about? Life is all about discovering you, discovering God within yourself. So the original meaning of prayer then is basically, prayer is a verb that quite literally a long, long time ago in its original meaning meant to explore the inner. So to pray to someone is basically ridiculous, because if you're going to pray to someone, pray to you, explore yourself. And that is truly what you're saying. It's time to stop looking at all of us as these beings that are going to help you. We are working together with you. In this moment, even right now, I am showing more and more how human I truly am. And I am getting closer and closer to humanity, because humanity basically is getting closer and closer to us again. There is no difference between us or you. There is no difference between the Pleiadians and Earth. Yes, they may be in the illusion light years apart, and of course the Pleiadians have gone a different explorative path of themselves than Earth has, but it's all coming back together. It's all becoming one breath. So allow that to take place in your life. I got excited on that.
Yes, excellent. And the next one is coming from Mary Ann. 12 years ago, I have had an experience which I can't forget. I needed rest for a period of 4 months. For days I was total love. I loved everyone as myself, and I saw and I felt that everyone is God. After that period, it was gone, and I had never more that experience. I think now it is possible to get this experience again, and during the whole time for everyone, I want to state again, and I will do everything to come there. Can you tell me what I have to do? Is this an experience of the new earth? Another question is, years ago, I have got that I would go to help people with an etheric operation. Is this old energy, or is this also possible in the new energy? Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, what I can say, first of all, to answer the first question of this person, what you think you experienced was never gone. It always remained with you. The only thing that you experienced is that your consciousness expanded so as to exist in a more total package of vibration for yourself. After that, it was very natural for your consciousness to take that experience and start focusing it again on what you on Earth call here and now, this dimension, this experience, this vibration. So it was never gone. The reason why it was given to you is that you could take it and start practicing it here in this dimension of Earth right now. So that is why it was there. If you stop believing that it was gone, and if you keep seeing that it is still there within you, you can actually take these vibrations and move them into your field of experience right here. That's what I would recommend. As far as the ethereal operation goes, well, I know there's a very good shop in Boulder that actually sells ethereal scalpels. So that's what I would suggest. And of course, again, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'll have to say this.
I was getting a little worried there.
I will now practice this operation on Faye.
No. Interview's over. I'm getting up.
All of these questions, and I know they are well meant. They are meant with good intent. But all of these things are really things of the mind. Things of a limited perception, which are there to confuse you. Just focus on the simple things. Being here and now is more than enough for you to handle right now. And if you don't feel this right now, wait 4 months. You'll know when it hits you. You don't need any ethereal operations. You don't need anyone healing you, and you don't need to go out healing anyone else. Focus on you and projecting you out there into the world, not by sitting in your chair and watching the clouds go by, but actually by choosing to put your passion into action. That is the only operation that truly is going to work on anyone in any part of this world today. Good luck with it.
Thank you. And our next question is from Elizabeth.
The Queen?
Maybe.
A time travel question. How can I get back to the Renaissance?
Thank you for creating this chance to ask my question, and I do hope you will answer it because I am desperate. I don't know where I am having big fear about a disease in my body. Years now, I too, for about the fear is so big and so real that it feels it is coming from, and why I start fearing this bigger than I. The fear can asking for help, but nothing helps. Staying in the moment. I tried everything. It's back disappear for a while. I'm sorry, but this is kind of disjointed in English here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck, again fearing I will create it. I know that thoughts create reality. So now, can you please give me insight about it? It feels it holds me back. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Well,
sorry about the
that's fine. That's fine. I got the gist
of it.
Yes. Well, first of all, dear Elizabeth, and anyone who might be experiencing the same thing out there, there is no such thing as a disease. What you have had or might thought you've had wrong with you in the past truly no longer exists today, and it is an experience that was valuable to you. Only your fear of it occurring again in the future is what is creating the potential for the disease to come back. So see it as a gift. Whether it was a true disease that happened to you, or whether it was an imaginary one, or the fear of one, that experience that you went through was a gift to become who you are today. If that is not going to take you out of your desperation, I would say this: breathe. Breathe and breathe again. If you have been able to take 3 breaths, you are still alive. If that is what you focus on, then life and existence and beingness is all that you will experience, and no type of disease. There might be some discomfort, but choose to observe that discomfort from the perception of a changing reality. When your body goes through discomfort or pain, choose to see it as a changing in your vibration, and then embrace it and see what comes of you. What will come of you is actually a new and wonderful version of yourself. If you choose to believe that, then that will be your reality. And this actually goes for any type of disease or pain or discomfort out there. Allow yourself to grow from every experience that you have, truly.
Thank you.
And thank you for your question,
Thank
Elizabeth.
you, Elizabeth. And our next question is from,
Lots of questions.
yes,
I
from
like it.
Hella. Is the diamond flame energy mentioned by Archangel Michael the same as the Achanetic energy, and thus a diamond core God cell and Achanetic cell? Thank you so much in advice for answering this question and being you.
Well, thank you. Well, why don't we ask Michael? He's right here. In the room with us. Truly, let's get it clear once and for all. It is all about undefinition. All of these things that you encounter, and I know that this sometimes happens, you read something somewhere and you read something somewhere else. The question I would like to ask you is, do you choose it to be the same thing? Or do you choose to see the diamond, whatever, diamond flame?
The diamond core,
Yes.
diamond flame energy, yes.
And the Achanetic energy?
As the Achanetic energy, and thus a diamond core God cell as an Achanetic cell.
Okay. Well, if you choose, people are covering their faces in the audience, I don't know why. If you choose to see the diamond energy and the Achanetic energy as the same, you will be able to work with them. If you choose to see them differently, they will be two valuable tools. You, however, there is one thing about these two energies that is the same, and that is you observing them, you working with them. So rather than looking at the diamond flame and the diamond God core cell and the violet flame and the Achanetic energy, etc., 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 as different tools, this is the day, this is the time to start realizing that all of that now reflects back into you. And you are the only tool you're ever going to need. That is why the exercises that we have been given and will continue to give, like the one that we gave today, are going to be focused all on you and not on some sort of Michael that is going to be handed to you, or some sort of, well, I don't know, sort of Faye maybe, that is going to be handed to you. She's sharp, however. She cuts through everything. So focus on this and see the beauty that will emerge as you become your greatest tool.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you. And we have another. For a few years, I have been listening to your messages, and I thank you for removing the veil and bringing back the wisdom and awareness to us all. I am really enjoying them, and on the other hand, they confuse me. I'm not certain anymore if it makes sense what I'm doing. For the moment, I am active in politics. It came to me, and I accepted it. But now I'm not sure that I'm going the right way.
You can end right there, actually, with that question, because the rest of it is no longer important at this time. I will say, remove yourself from politics right now.
Yes.
However, there are other ways. What I mean is remove yourself from the political system and the systemology and the methodology that you are in right now. What is called politics will very shortly, in a couple of years, it will be moving from politics into what actually will be called a cosmology. Now, cosmology is the creation of customs. Not customs as in trying to enter the country or anything like that, but customs as opposed to law. Now, politics creates more law and a more narrow field of experience, whereas customs actually create opportunities and choices. If you are bold, and the reason for you asking this question is that you are looking for a new way, then I would suggest gather those around you that are ready to start creating new ways of thinking and stop thinking about being elected or electing those around you or whatever, because indeed, as your question would continue, you would say that many of those out there are shouting and that you don't see the true value of working in that field anymore. But if you are bold enough, and I know that you are, my dear, then use cosmology. And I know that you can channel through what that truly means for you as a new political, cosmological system that can be set up. Try that and see where it leads you. And you will find those relationships in your life that you are looking for, which was the second part of your question.
And thank you, Annie.
Yes.
And we have...
And good luck.
Yes, good luck.
Belgium needs you.
What would it take to fly like Superman? Like I sometimes do in my dreams. Is it fun?
Could you say
so
that again?
Someone, I think, thinks you're Superman.
Of course I am.
This is from Ruben. So would you please share with us what it feels like to fly like Superman? Adamus man.
Well, I am baffled. What it takes to fly like Superman is to work your way up in a building, get up to the roof, make sure you have a red thing.
You need to wear, to look Clark Kent like, you need the
Oh
glass.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. What it takes to fly like Superman is to allow your dreams to soar, my dear. That's all I have to say.
Dear friend and family, very often I feel like I have just waved goodbye to my parents and I'm sitting alone in my new home, starting my adult life. I feel sad and homesick. I just want to go home to the safety of my parents' arms and stay there forever. Know the feeling? I cry very often when I hear your messages, when Tobias said goodbye, when Matthias of Elohim spoke, when you'll all say how much you love us, me, and I cry even now when I write this. I am not longing to go home because I really can't remember what home is, but I long for my family to come to me and be with me. Why do I feel so abandoned, so left alone? I feel that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do in this lifetime, but I can't find it. Sometimes I feel that all I'm doing is pretending, and I feel like a groupie hanging out with the big guys just to get a little light shining on me too. Smile. And maybe this isn't a real question, but just a longing for you to talk to me. Much love from Rain.
My dearest Rain, I will talk to you directly, like I have always talked to you. Because you may or may not be aware of this, but I and many others like me are with you all the time. Dearest Rain, or Ryan, I know you intimately, like I know any one of you intimately. I invite you, however, to get to know yourself intimately as well. Because, Ryan, when you do, and I know you will, you will become aware that you do not need to explore what you are meant to do here on earth, because you are already doing it. You are here, you are an angel, and you're not going anywhere. You can't remember home because it is locked up inside of your heart. And the reason why you are here is to find the key. The reason why you are here is because you are so bold that you would come here with a chest that is closed and find the key here, so that when it does open up for you, it opens up for everyone around you. And that, my dear Ryan, is why you are here on earth. Now, I invite you to turn this interview off the moment it is finished, and to talk to me, and to hear me answering back inside of that chest. And you will find the key, dear Ryan. You will find that key very shortly from now, because you are going to choose to find that key. And you are not playing with the big guys. You are big. So please remember that and move into you. Start praying. Start exploring yourself, and continue to do what you are doing. I love you. Thank you for asking the question, and for reading the question. The flowers for being the flowers, and I'm in love with everything right now, including you.
My husband is ill. If I have no time to listen to anything, I would love to read them. Excuse me. Why is it you do not have more transcriptions? My husband is ill. I have no time to listen to anything. I would love to read them. Won't anyone transcribe them for you? I would, but alas, I am used up with what is going on. And if Akara could tell me what that is all about with my husband, I would welcome it. Staying balanced is almost impossible for me. I do send free energy into my environment. However, some days I have no energy of my own and can hardly send or do anything. I thought easy was coming this year. Where is mine? Helene.
Oh dear Helene. First of all, the question about the transcriptions is something I'll have to take up with Yeshua, because I usually don't have a body long enough to help with that, so that's something else. As far as your husband goes, and the question that you have for Akara, fortunately I can provide you with an answer there. You say you are sending free energy into your environment and into your husband, but that some days you have no energy to send. This to me indicates that your energy is not free energy, that your energy is limited and restrictive, and this is not your energy, this is what you choose to be in this moment. Easy is not coming to earth, easy is earth. Easy is what is right here, and the only thing that prevents you from seeing that is the dramas in your life. Now, in your case, what is preventing you from seeing easy as a reality rather than a theory is the drama, excuse the word, of the disease that is around your husband, and as such is around your life. If you start to see the disease or the illness in him, then you start to recognize the illness in yourself, which is drama. I know that you are not going to like these words and that you might turn me off once and for all, but I'm very easily turned on again. I just want you to know that. I want you to know that you need to stop creating disease in your life, and that you need to start seeing everything as an opportunity, everything as a creation, and everything as a gift. Now, what I said today in my message might very well apply to your husband. If you stop becoming dependent on that situation, you might allow him to let go, which, if I read it correctly, is actually the desire of his soul at this moment. If that happens, then it's fine. When you, however, allow to let go, new choices can be made. And for now, my dearest angel, I ask you to look deep inside and see where in your life, in your body, in your reality, you are creating your disease from. Thank you.
This is from Melissa. I have been watching the video cast regarding the change in energy. A few months ago, I had some issues with some dark-shaped things invading my home. We did a clearing. Since then, every day I'm seeing more and more things. Haze sparkles. Nothing like the black energy, but every day it's getting more intense. Not negative in any way, just very strange. Is there anything you can tell me about this? My mother raised us to be in touch with the other side. Not sure. I have been involved in many alternative faiths. My question is, what am I seeing and sensing? What used to be a few times a month has now turned into an everyday event that lasts minutes to hours. We are having major disturbances in our house. They seem to center around me. Am I doing this, or is there a message?
Is there a name?
Melissa.
Well, dear Melissa, hooray for you. You are beginning to see yourself. It is very wonderful. The reason why there was black energy around you is that you were actually seeing black holes, in the sense that you were seeing spots that you, from the mind, from the brain, could not yet identify. Now, hooray for your mother as well for educating you and training you the way she did. Because that is why it was so easy for you to move from the idea of something negative into the idea of something wonderful. Now, I know you sent your question in a while ago, and I know that by now you are having wonderful experiences as you are being energized by your own new consciousness coming in. And I'll tell you what, it's freaking out those around you. And I know that you're having fun with that too. So, Melissa, Melissa, keep playing with it. You are a cosmic child, and you are creating wonderful experiences for yourself. Now, there is, however, one thing to be said. You are indeed creating this yourself, but the reason why you're experiencing it is not for you alone. Talk about this, write about this, share it with others. The more people start experiencing energy, magic on a daily basis in their lives, the faster the evolution of this beautiful planet will continue. And you are a teacher. You are a healer who is now moving into a teacher. Allow yourself to teach what you already know. It would be very easy for you to think that the energy around you is not you, is coming from someplace else, and if there were those old energy teachers around you right now, they would have already told you that you are seeing dead souls. You can see dead people walking around like regular people and stuff like that. But this is of course not what is happening. You are seeing you. Train others. That is the reason why you are allowing these visions for yourself. That is why you have created it. Teach others the same thing and be blessed. Thank you.
And this question is from Astrid.
Seems like a long question.
Yes, it does.
And actually I have a very short answer, but I'm going to allow you to read the question first.
It's actually addressed to Yeshua, but we'll let you do it since it's addressing a Q&A. So, I listened to your Q&A on June 1st of 2008, and I've been very concerned with one of the questions you discussed over this session, and I know many are going through this in the same energy issue. I have been for the past 2 years, after I lost my job because the company moved to another state, almost totally dedicated in learning more about my soul, my spiritual inner feelings, and much more. It has been a long process, but I thank my angels and my higher self to put me in my path all the teachings I needed and still might need. I also thanks for all of the time was given to me to dedicate it to the listening to all your audio as well as other audio and seminars coming from other sources. All the info comes to me easy and fluently as clear water running through a river. At the beginning, I wasn't too much concerned about money issues since I had a few months paid from this company where I used to work, and I thought it was only going to take just a couple of months to get a job. Then I decided, okay, I will look for it in a very calm way just to get that specific job that will make me completely happy and where I can give my best. Of course, in that moment, I thought I had to change my career from business to something more meaningful. I am very creative and love to paint, so I took that path, but nothing worked out. After 2 years of no job, you know how bills could be, let's keep it a secret, joke. Well, since 3 months ago, I was totally committed to getting the job, since we are still dealing with the third dimension, and I have felt my husband's stress lately, even though he has been very understanding in my spiritual search. So, I have had no luck getting a job, and after many interviews. I know one part of me doesn't want to be part of that system, and the other does just because of the money. Any direction on working this out? How do we avoid working for someone else if we still need to pay bills? How do we step out of the old system? How do we find this job that supports us? How to be our own person? These could be very good echoraya from the masters, and I'm sure will help many of us plenty.
Yes.
And this is from Astrid.
Well, Astrid, and anyone out there who actually enjoyed listening to that question, I have to tell you this. This one would have been better answered by Cthulhu, because God knows that Cthulhu likes his daily soap opera. I am very sorry. I cannot give you the answer to this question because it has been discussed over and over and over again. I'm afraid to say that you are in drama. And actually, I'm happy that you have come to the point where all your other resources have dried up so that you can actually start looking at yourself. What I advise you to do is to listen to your own question again today, and then to see if this is still the person you are, and if so, if this is still the person you want to be. Now, there is an aspect of your question about working for someone and making your living that way that I can look towards. The idea of working for someone is, of course, an old energy concept, because within these limitless walls of experience that we now sit in, you can only work with someone rather than for someone. When you start applying that in your daily life, and when you stop looking at your bills as a problem, you are going to see the changes occur in your reality. But I thank you for your question anyway, and this actually is not just for you, but anyone else out there. I would advise to start focusing, when you ask your questions, to start focusing on the material that we offer, not just the material offered here, but also through any other channel that we have been working with. I personally have been working with, and some of my colleagues have been working with as well. Because if you are truly going to be the scholar, then this is actually no longer appropriate in your reality. And those answers are actually to be found in the material that we teach. So look there for those answers, and you are going to find more valuable answers from me when you start focusing your questions towards things that are actually going to help you in your life rather than block you in your life. I thank you.
Good point.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Our last question.
Our very last.
Our very last. And there is no name on this one, except one love, so
That's a name.
it's a name, yes. What about Haiti? Why such poverty, destruction, inhumanity, and on the doorsteps of America, the richest, most powerful country in the world? Why the violence and the callous disregard for life in certain other islands of the Caribbean? What can be done by concerned Caribbean chambres besides sending light? From One Love.
Well, One Love. First of all, you got it wrong when you think that America is the richest and most powerful country in the world, because true power and wealth can only be found within the human heart. But you know that. I want you to know how very proud and grateful I am to you and all of those working with you in Haiti in doing what you are doing. Actually, sending your light is having more of an effect right now than you could possibly think. Haiti and some other countries out there, I know that recently you were in the Philippines, and as they were in the Philippines, sometimes I found myself in the Philippines. For instance, but also many other countries out there. Let's talk about Africa, and let's talk about what is happening there. These are energy pockets of Earth that are actually choosing these roles so that transformation can happen. So I would even dare to say that what is happening in Haiti, to focus on your country specifically, on your area, is in divine order, is based on the divine will of those who have chosen to incarnate there. Now you are there to actually start shifting that whole paradigm. You are not going to be able to change anything right now by speaking up, because normally I would give the advice to speak up, but I know that if you were to speak up too loudly right now, you might be silenced. So I would advise you to actually, if that is the path you want to go, of course it's fine, but I would advise you to continuously sending light. And there is a way to actually have your voice be heard, and you already provided it through the name that you used in asking this question. As I see the vibration of One Love, I see an anonymous source that actually could stimulate many into peaceful action. Choose that, and choose not to compare Haiti to the rest of the world. Choose not to see the connection between Haiti and, for instance, the United States of America, because truly, at this point, there is no true connection. Haiti is moving in its own path, and you being there and those chambres around you being there right now is truly a blessing. Thank you for choosing that as your stamping grounds. Thank you for choosing that as your place of creation. I am with you often, I want you to know that, but the one who is with you the most is Cthulhu. So please allow him to speak, dance, sing, and write through you. One Love can be a major source of creativity, bringing forth the authenticity that is needed to stimulate others. You have, actually, although your question is short, you have a strong pen. Use your pen and write. That's all I can tell you. Thank you.
That's it.
That's all our time for today?
That's all our time for today.
Okay.
And we have Ambika coming up next with a new segment which is called The Hearts of Earth. So stay tuned, plug into the next segment.
I believe.
Thank you.
I believe Ambika is nervous for that one. It is new what she's doing, isn't it?
It is new, but I think she'll be just fine.
I think so too. I will be tickling her off.
Yes, yes. I think she's still more upset that you're off the availability list than
Oh.
she is about her next segment.
Well,
so.
who wouldn't be?
Yeah. So thank you everyone for your questions, and thank you for the information. And
Very welcome.
yeah. So goodbye.
Goodbye.
Teach me the